Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
And we're married.
Look at that.
And this is our 50th episode.
I mean, by volume. By episode number. Because we did the baking episode count as an episode?
I don't remember.
And then we have a two-parter.
No, but the two-parter was A and B.
Right.
Or part one and part two. And then there was the episode that got recorded but never released.
Right. And then is the update...
Where I was overserved.
Right. It's the lost episode. But yeah, it's a 50th episode. So we've done this 50 times. We've spent at least, 115 hours recording, if not more.
Yeah. Well, and... we hadn't planned to do this, but let's take a moment to chat a little bit about where this all came from. So, 2 or 3 years ago?
No, this was our first one. Is from 2017, like 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago.
Yeah,
No, because our honeymoon was in 20.
I'm horrible with dates, so I'm not going to come up with it myself.
I think it's in 2017.
2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, sure.
I should say a few years before that. So at some point in the last 10 years.
There'll be a timeline in the show notes.
John had taught me how to knit because I had grown up...
crocheting.
Well, I hadn't grown up crocheting. What I was saying was I had grown up and most of the women in my life crocheted.
Mm-hmm.
Grandmothers, mom, nobody knit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I always heard about it and I, wondered what it was and how it was different and all of that. Because my whole knowledge of that was...
How does it burn?
Because you know how I am with telling a story.
I do.
And when you interrupt me...
I would never derail you on purpose.
Oh my God, it's so frustrating. It's like you're toying with someone who has an issue. So anyway, I had never done any knitting or anything like
DSM?
that. And so I'm just going to keep talking. So then John taught me how to knit. And I knit a scarf. But I wasn't really bitten by the bug. It was fun, but it felt difficult and it felt like it was, I don't know, it just didn't grab me. And so then I went home to visit my mom, Betty Ann, in South Georgia. And I get there, it was Christmas time, and I get there and she kept talking about you need to knit more and you need to watch these YouTube videos and you need to do this and you need to do that, as she's wanting to do. And I was like, YouTube? Why would I watch YouTube videos about knitting? And bakery bears? Are these gay, big, hairy gay men? What are you talking about? So then she sat me down and we watched. I was like, okay, we'll watch these YouTube videos and then I can say I've done it.
Then you STFU, right?
Right, exactly. I can be like, I've done what you asked. And
can we just get on with our lives?
Can I pick up the pieces of my life and move on? And so... we watched The Grocery Girls, we watched Bakery Bears, and we watched Naughty Knitwit. Naughty Knitwit? That doesn't sound right. Anyway. And I was immediately hooked. And I wanted to buy all the things, and I wanted to buy all the yarn, and I wanted to watch all the YouTube videos all the time.
Junior,
that is Angela.
That was
do not mess
kind.
with Angela.
She's 90.
She's older than that.
Well, I don't think she's 100 yet.
She's 95.
Right. She's somewhere in the 90s, yeah. So
she's 95. She was born in 25. We know this about her.
Oh, you're right.
So, anyway, long story made much longer because of John's and Junior's interruptions. At that point, I was like, I have to watch all YouTube knitting. That's all I'm going to do for the rest of my days, is do nothing but knitting stuff. And so then when I got home, I started showing John some of this stuff and went to the first shop hop, and started talking to some people at work who knit, and just got really a lot more into it. And Betty Ann, while I was in Georgia, Betty Ann threw me some sock yarn and a 9-inch circular and taught me how to knit a sock, walked me through knitting a sock. That's why I'm so obsessed with 9-inch circulars. And then after a couple months after I got home, that was when I was like, what?
I'm just watching the cat.
Oh, he's staring at me.
I know.
A couple months after coming home, I was like, I want to do this. I want to do a YouTube thing. I don't know why I wanted to. It was just, I think it was because the people that I was watching were real people. They weren't
influencers.
Yes, influencers. They weren't these fake YouTube personalities.
Right,
and,
there's people
and
like...
I guess I shouldn't be so disparaging. I mean,
no, but I mean, I think there's something about like people who are doing a knitting podcast are not doing it for the money.
right.
You know, you're doing it just because you want to share what you're doing and you want to connect with people, and that's something that is fun.
Right. So I was like, I want to be more into this community. And so, and I know a lot of you have heard me give this spiel before, but since it's our 50th episode. So we decided at that point to, I was going to give it a try. And then, but I really wanted Betty Ann to do it with me, but she wasn't willing to do that. So I kept talking about that and how I really didn't want to do it by myself because I wanted to have somebody to, you know, what's the word? Interact with, but like not knock things off of. I didn't want to be like
bounce things
off
of. Knock.
And so John's like, well, I'll do it with you. And this is why John's the best husband ever. So
pretty much.
He goes along with my whims. So
I get the occasional whim myself, so it's all good.
That's true. So so then we decided it, and then
here we are.
50
episodes later.
50 episodes later.
It's a lot of knitting content.
A lot of knitting. A lot of nothingness. A lot of Scott trying to search for his words. But we went from...
But that's how we edit.
Yeah, well, that's true. We went from 0 subscribers to...
as one does.
Well, right. To about 4,300, almost 4,300. No, about 4,250. Close to 4,250 subscribers. Right. Which that's never been important to us. It's more about the people that I get to interact with either through our knit-alongs or through the comments that people leave on our videos or the messages I get. We're really not good about the Ravelry thing.
No, we really aren't. I apologize to anyone who posts on our Ravelry group. It's little crickets. But I mean, you know, whatever. I think the other thing is that it's been fun because we've done it. When we first started doing it, we started doing it like once a month at the most. Because we were very... I think embarrassed about neither one of us is a very fast knitter.
Right.
So it felt like, oh, I can't show anything if I don't have something finished or something new and stuff like that. And
the other thing too is that, well, and I think this is what you were getting to, is with the pandemic and being quarantined, we saw that other people were doing episodes every week, and it's like, well, we've got the time.
Right.
And, you know, and to be honest, I mean, the people, the folks that comment were like, you don't have to have something. It was really those of you that are watching that commented that are like, you don't have to have something every week to show. And so it was that encouragement that just made us decide to do it every week, and we love doing it every week.
Well, we find it's a lot easier.
It is
in a lot of ways because we don't have to prep as much because we remember, usually, what's going on.
From week to week.
Yeah, and it just makes it feel a little more casual.
And it is, it's a healthy pressure, too, because it's not stressful, like, oh my God, I have to knit something to get ready for the next episode, because if we don't do an episode, the world is not going to end.
It is not.
But
the world is ending in many other ways right now. Us skipping a week is not one of them.
But it's a healthy pressure to, like, oh, I want to get this far in my knitting, or
for sure,
whatever. So
yeah,
I wish that I had more time to do more of the interaction, because I don't always have time to respond to all the comments or respond to all the messages and things like that, which makes me sound snobbish. But it's not that. It's just there isn't enough time in the day to to respond to everybody, and so I do the best I can, and that's what is so
I help
super
sometimes.
motivating. Yeah, you do.
I know. You're a lot better than I am, but
it's that's more of an interest of mine.
Yeah.
I think so. So anyway, 50 episodes.
50 episodes, 2 cats, one dog.
We started with one dog, and now we have a different dog.
Yes. So yeah, it's really. It was just kind of funny. We were like doing the one last week. I'm like, oh, 49, 50.
Yeah.
So not that it matters, but it's kind of a cool milestone.
It is. It is.
So what do we have on the docket today?
Today I have progress on a whip.
Mm-hmm.
I have a new cast on,
Mm-hmm.
which is an acquisition,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have an update on a whip, another whip, which is not it's a discussion about a whip. So,
Okay. I have 3 works in progress, one of which is new.
cool.
So and then we have our
Don't you have an
No, I
acquisition?
showed it last time.
Okay.
Plus we have Angela Lansbury.
Yes.
Sort of. And then we have a Betty Ann update.
Okay.
So.
All right. So I'll start with. Oh no, I have a faux. I have a finished object.
Well, you should start with that.
Let's start with that. It's not a very exciting one, but it's a dishcloth. But I'm working my way through this 3 patterns that my mom sent me. I showed one a couple episodes ago. It's 3 pieces okay. It'll be on the screen. I can't remember. And I don't have the pattern with me because it's dishcloths and it's super easy to memorize. So I look at the pattern and then I knit it, and I don't look back at the pattern, so I don't keep it with me. But anyway, it's basically 3 rows of knit, 3 rows of purl. But you're knitting it flat, so to do that you have to knit, purl, knit,
Mm-hmm.
knit, purl, knit. So it's, yeah. So, so it's just another washcloth. This is in the infamous colorway
Fruit Punch.
Fruit Punch, which we all know is, what is it? Blueberries, celery, and
I would say
plums.
it's purple grapes, blueberries, and green grapes.
And what's the white?
Marshmallows.
What's that weird fruit that they sometimes make cocktails out of? It's like a weird, gross, squishy thing. It's like eyeballs.
Don't know.
Okay. Anyway, I can't remember the name of it, but anyway. All right, so that's that. That's my finished object. It was, washcloths are nice to do, just get them done. But.
Yep.
And I did put a little crochet chain here, not because dishcloths need this kind of thing, but I just wanted to do it just to play around with doing that, because I have never, on the pot holders or anything, I need to go back and do like an I-cord or crochet chain or something like that so that we can hang them up. Because we've got hooks to hang them up on, we just
don't use them.
So that's that.
Great.
And that was in the sugar and cream, Lily's sugar and cream yarn, Fruit Punch colorway.
Gotcha. Should I go? Yeah. All right. We'll just start on this one because this one is more of the same, much of the same. So this is the Sockhead Cowl. That's what it looks like. It's about a little taller than Angela. We'll use her to display it right now. So the pattern is the Sockhead Cowl. See, it's actually pretty awesome. It is by somebody.
Mary something.
By Kelly McClure, Boho Knits Patterns. So, and the colorway is Bishop's Castle. The yarn dyer is Herta Cats, and it is a 30% superwash, 30% nylon. So
70% superwash merino. Superwash wool.
What did I say?
You said 30% superwash, 30% nylon. It's only 60%.
The 40% fairy dust. Magic.
40% cat hair in our house.
I know, exactly. At this point it is. Like, that's what is. So yeah, so as we talked a bit last time, there are about, I think there's like 27 grams left, maybe 30. So getting there.
Let me talk about my related whip.
Yeah.
Since you're talking about this one.
So, but yeah, it's
So he's doing the Sockhead Cowl. I'm doing the Sockhead Hat. So yours, we discovered that not only do I think you're a looser, because you're using 2.5 millimeter needles, right?
Yes.
As am I. My yarn is 5 Borough yarns, a walk-in prospect, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. This is what the label looks like. But so this is I think you cast on a lot more stitches than I did.
Well,
which is
160 stitches.
Yeah, mine I cast on. Got the pattern right here. Same designer, it's just the Sockhead hat instead. Oh, we've got Linus visiting. I cast on 144 stitches.
Okay, so that's not that too much more.
Almost 20 stitches different.
That's like not very much in the grand scheme of
It's
things.
more than 10% more.
It's like an inch more.
No, it's not. I'm not having this discussion with you right now.
Wait, what's gauge? I guess it doesn't really have a gauge.
So, so I'm knitting it using the ChowGoo red set of minis. So what that means is it has, the cable is actually a mini cable. So it's smaller. The attachment, but actually the thickness of the cord is smaller, and it's got the 2.5 millimeter tips on it. So it ends up making about a 16-inch cable or a cord, which is appropriate for hats. So obviously this yarn was made for this kind of project because of the way it's like perfectly striping.
Right.
I mean, I could not be happier with this. So I'm doing it to the pattern. I'm not going to modify the pattern at all. And if I do it again, I might make some changes. But I've got another, I think 3.5 or 4 inches of hat to go before I start the decreasing. It's a very slouchy hat.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
Cool. Yay.
Wonder Twins. And then we realized that I did less ribbing than you, and you did 1 by 1 and I did 2 by 2.
No, I didn't.
Oh, yours is 2 by 2. We
keep having that discussion.
Why is my rib so... Your rib is like super tight and mine is like super janky.
As I said last time, I get that a lot. Let me see this. So it could, I mean, your yarn is definitely, well, your yarn has a lot more nylon in it than mine.
Why would that make a difference?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying that the fiber content is different. And it also says superwash wool rather than superwash merino. So I don't know if this is merino. So it could be totally different. I mean, you'll feel the difference in the fabric.
Yeah.
In the yarn, I mean.
Yeah, this feels like a little more...
this is a lot softer.
Right.
And squishier.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's not a competition. But...
It said John never.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a competition. So yeah,
it's only a competition when you're not winning. Let's be honest.
What? When I'm not winning?
I mean, it's only a competition.
Right.
It's only not a competition when you're not winning.
Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't sound correct at all.
All right. Cool. So that's what you're working on. You're knitting at Portuguese.
I am knitting Portuguese, and this is my TV, popcorn knitting, blah, blah, blah. Fight about that.
Potato chip knitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I should just like copy and paste the footage for the last 3 episodes where we thought about that.
Pretty much. Unless it's new to you. So
that's true.
First-time viewers.
First-time viewers. Okay, if you're a first-time viewer, Stay for the fight where we fight about whether it's popcorn or potato chip. Otherwise, you can fast forward for about 30 seconds.
Right. All right. So those are our two Sockhead
related whips.
Nice. Do you want to do...
You go ahead and do your next one.
Okay. Are you doing...
We'll end with our new cast-ons. Because we've each got one.
Are you doing the cowl?
Oh, yeah. I was going to do the cowl next. The cowl project next.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. Do you want to do that next?
Sure.
Okay. So we're doing a knit-along.
Yes, we are.
Which is, for those of you that don't know, is an opportunity for any of you watching to do a project and post pictures of it on Instagram and Ravelry, and win prizes, profit.
Yay.
So our theme for this knit-along is Entrelac and Intarsia. So those are techniques.
If you can do both in the same pattern, you get an extra point.
Well, now that we've done it for a while, you could do like
you could do
an Intarsia brim on an Entrelac hat or something like that. But why would you?
I mean, because it's the 70s. I don't know. That seems like a very 70s thing to do.
That's true. So let me get through the description.
Sure.
So of the knit-along. So it's the theme is Entrelac or Intarsia,
which we chose only because they have cool names and neither one of us have done those.
Right.
So it was a chance to kind of learn.
And we've learned a lot.
Yes.
So I have to give a special shout out to Rusty. Insert the name of his podcast.
He's the guy in Dallas, right?
Yeah, I think it's Rusty Knits, but I don't.
Right.
I'll put it on the screen. Mm-hmm. He actually bought the pattern. And he's already finished the Entrelac hat.
What?
Did I tell you that?
No, I knew that he was going to do it and help and sort of be your.
Oh yeah, he posted the finished object a day or two ago.
Oh my god,
he's a very fast. He has to be a very fast knitter.
So, and are you going to like connect with him and be like, how did you do this?
He already gave me that. So I'm really bad about remembering specifics and details. Mm-hmm. I love details, but I never remember them. So all I remember is that Rusty did the project and he sent me the information about his project. I don't remember where he sent it to me or what his podcast name is, but I could picture him in my head.
It's Rusty Knits.
I'm pretty sure it's Rusty Knits. Anyway, let's stop saying that because if that's wrong, then
it'll be very confusing.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yes,
that is so awesome.
What he did. The big thing that he discovered is that, and it says it in the pattern, I mean, there's a point at which it says, don't turn your work.
Yes.
What it means is you basically have to turn the hat inside out and do the next round with the hat inside out. Because remember when I was like, don't turn your work, what the heck does that mean?
Gotcha.
So you basically have to turn the hat inside out. So Rusty, what he did was, if you change all of this about the pattern, it'll work. And then he came back later and he said, well, actually, if you just turn the hat inside out and do it, then the pattern makes sense.
That's awesome. So
he saved my life.
That's amazing.
He has saved Christmas.
He has saved Christmas. And this means we might have one finished object.
Right.
For our knit-along. Because mine certainly, although, depending on the next 2.5 weeks, maybe.
Yes. Because we're going to be doing some traveling.
Yes. Do you have your hat?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I haven't shown this in several weeks because I haven't worked on it at all because I got stuck. So when Rusty did his, and he's posted it on Instagram, he did that thing where each shape is a different color. It's really cool. I mean, no, I don't mean that. I mean, there's repeats of the same colors. But he
switched yarns every square.
I don't know if he switched yarns or if he had a yarn that had what is that called?
That pulled the right way.
Long strand dye or something. Yeah. But basically, each of his is like, this will be red and this will be green, then that'll be red.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool looking. And mine I did where I just didn't care that much about that and did variegated
It's
yarn.
fantastic. I love it.
So I'm super excited because Rusty has saved Christmas.
Yes.
And he has shown me how to fix it. So I know Susanna Warner, who has posted that she also was working on the pattern and she also got stuck. So
you can share that.
I'm going to share that with
That's
her.
Awesome.
I don't remember if he sent me the information publicly or like in a direct message. That's why I was saying I'm not good at the details.
Yep.
Because I don't remember if it's regardless. I'll make sure that that she gets that information so that she can keep going too. But basically, the information was turn the hat inside out.
Nice.
So, in case you haven't seen this project before, this is an Intarsia style project, and it's Theresa Shades is the designer. It's the all squared up 2.0 hat, and the yarn that I'm using is Miss Babs yarn, and it was a custom colorway designed for Stephen B during a shop hop, and it's Stephen B Goes Gaga. Or Stephen B Goes Gaga.
Yep.
So, and it was because his theme or his shop did a Lady Gaga theme for that shop hop. So that's this.
That is so exciting. I did not realize that you were going to be finishing it then.
Yeah,
Or you got the information you did. That's awesome.
I was gonna pick it back up and just
grind your way through it.
Yeah, but then when I saw him post, I'm gonna get this pattern and I'm gonna figure this out, I was like, maybe I'll just procrastinate until he figures it out. And he
That's
did.
amazing.
He figured
Wow.
it out. So, community.
Yay! No, that's exactly.
Well, because people had posted, and they're like, "Well, ask,
The
go
designer, right?
Well, that, but she, I'm sure she's busy and stuff. But her response was basically, nobody else has ever had a problem with it. So I was like, well, and then, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, and then people were like, well, go to your local yarn store.
Right, that's a little hard.
And it's a little hard. I thought about doing that, and I was going to do that, but then I'm like, well, with the social distancing stuff, like, how do I show them where I'm at? We're having to move hand the project back
and especially
forth.
with, you want to leave the, a lot of stores are letting in, like, a limited number of people, and so you open for shoppers and stuff like that.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's awesome.
So I got help from a friend virtually.
Right. Lifeline.
A lifeline. So that was perfect.
That is amazing.
But
Wow.
yeah, he's already done with this. He did it in like a week or something. Maybe probably not even that long.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember going to that one thing at Brooklyn Tweed where they had this event, and we were at this so they gave you a hat pattern, and while I was at the table over this event, this woman I was sitting with knit the whole hat.
So did you? I remember talking about this when you went, but I've forgotten. Did you watch her at all?
Yeah, she was doing.
Was it like? Could you tell she was knitting fast, or did it look normal?
Yeah, no, it looked spooky. She was doing.
Was she doing continental?
Yeah,
style?
she was doing continental knitting, and she was just like one of those people who just flew. It was amazing. And
Plus, she probably doesn't have to think about whatever.
Yeah, it was. I mean, she was because everyone was working on the hat during the thing except for me, who gave up because I did it and realized I hadn't swatched correctly, and then I got.
So that was the thing that you're at with Ross from Smells Like Yarn podcast.
Yeah.
Did he kind of roll his eyes at you?
No. Then I picked up something else and it was all good. That was the one thing that I went to a long time ago. But don't ever go to a knitting thing not wearing a knitted garment, because I was wearing a hoodie and a t-shirt. And I never felt more out of place in my life. I was these yoked sweaters and all this amazing stuff, and I'm like, hey everybody.
Funny.
But it was super fun. Anyway, episode 26.
That's not true.
No, it's not. No, it's not. All right, so
you're gonna do. So anyway, let's wrap up our knit along thing, because we didn't talk about Trilogy Yarns.
We did not.
So the prizes for our knit along are skeins of yarn from Trilogy Yarns, which is based in Spokane, Washington.
Not Wisconsin.
Not Wisconsin. Not Bellingham. Not Bellevue. Not Timbuktu. Not Waterloo. Spokane. And I almost wanted to keep going with the mistakes because Nancy messaged me and she's like, damn it, Scott. Spokane. Which made me laugh real hard.
Speaking of what?
And then also, Dean, I think his name. Oh gosh, I'm so bad with the names. But he also commented and he's like, actually, and he was very polite about it. He's like, actually, not to be a stickler, but I think it's Spokane. So anyway, Trilogy Yarns, beautiful yarn. We don't have it with us at the moment to show on camera.
And I think she's starting a podcast.
Yes, she is, with a friend of hers.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the first episode.
No. I think they recorded today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fun. Okay, so we'll be sure to
stay tuned
talk
for
about
that.
Yeah. But so anyway, she has beautiful yarn, and we don't have the yarn that are going to be the prizes handy, but her yarn will be making an appearance a little bit later in the episode. Yarn that I purchased.
Oh, okay. I'm like, it will. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So here is my project. I'm doing a pair of Argyle socks for Scott. The pattern is just this free pattern.
And other people. Sorry, if I could interrupt for just a second.
Go right ahead, babe. Go ahead.
Sorry. You don't get as distracted, or you don't lose your train of thought the way that I do.
Laser focus.
I'm gonna not interrupt after this. I promise.
I don't
Pinky
believe
swear.
Don't swear to what you can't do, babe.
People have asked what this pattern is. I can't for the life of me find the link.
So it's purplekittyarns.com.
Yeah, you can go on Purple Kitty Yarns. You can search for Argyle Socks.
It's called freevintagenetting.com.
I can't find that damn pattern to save my life. So anyway, people have asked for where
it's
this
from
pattern is.
Socks and Mittens 2, book number 169, I think.
Okay, maybe I'll take the paper pattern and be able to find it that way, because I can't link it in the description of our video because I can't find the damn pattern.
Right.
So I know people have asked for it. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and you can talk.
I'm assuming it's a pretty standard Argyle pattern. Anyway. So here it is. Let me pull it out really quick. So I'm using some colorways from Leelanau Fiber Arts. Let me pull it out. So the fun bit is that I don't know if you can quite don't fall off, you little. The instep. Do you want to hold up that little side? No. That the sides like that. So it is the Argyle pattern. The Intarsia part of this is done. So this is sock number 1, and so this Leelanau Fiber Arts. The background is a color called Heirloom, and the maroon and the I don't know what you call this bronze. Whatever. You're not allowed to interrupt. If I ask you, okay, whatever. Such a jerk. Is from a colorway called Spice Market, and so I don't know if y'all can see this now, but I've started doing the overstitching. So I originally started doing the overstitching. So I originally started this out managing like 8 bobbins of yarn. So I started doing instead of overstitching, I was just doing the lines with extra Intarsia fun, which was awful. So I gave that up, and now what I'm doing is I'm overstitching the cross hatches. So this is now in the pink. So I've done like this far, and I've started on.
It's kind of I would call it kind of a mauve color.
Sure.
The overstitching.
So yeah, it is really fun. Let's see. Let's look upside down. So
I wasn't allowed to do that when
there we go. Put it over Angela. So yeah, it is. So the overstitching here started today. So it's pretty easy. Very fast. it's still, I mean, so I'll probably finish the overstitching this week, I think pretty easily, which is nice. I was worried the overstitching was going to be super tedious.
Yeah, that's what I would have assumed.
It's, once you sort of figure out how to do it, it's pretty easy.
I know. I swear I did some overstitching on something, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
Was it for one of those scarves or something like that?
Scarves?
For the stuffed animals?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I think it was like the eyes for one of the bakery bears.
Right.
For the bakery bear I did, or for the fox, Mr. Fitzwilliam's fox I did.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the nose. That's
Right.
what it was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So long story not so long, overstitching is actually pretty easy. I mean, it's certainly the thing that is tough.
So you did actually two, I'm interrupting, sorry. You did two new techniques. You did Intarsia and overstitching.
I know. We could have done the Entrelac, Intarsia, and overstitching.
And you're going to seam it together, which I don't think is something you've done.
No. So, and I'm going to do I think it's a heel flap and gusset. I don't know. I haven't looked at but the heel is turned.
Yeah, it looks, from the picture, it looks like a heel. Well, I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We shall see.
Yeah.
You turn the heel.
Yeah.
So I've nerded that before. So, but yeah, so once I get this all done, fun fact, if you're ever doing overstitching, weave in the ends before you do it. Otherwise, you end up like catching ends in the overstitching. So,
especially with something like this.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look, the back of this is a disaster. And I've even woven a lot of the ends. But,
yeah. But especially with Intarsia where you've got 5 million ends.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah. Intarsia has been super fun. I would definitely, there's
Yeah, you got to clean that up before I'm going to try to slip my foot in there.
Well, yeah, of course. I will, but the way I do it is I block it.
And I was just teasing.
You're so problematic. Anyway, so, ta-da!
Is that connected?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's a...
It looked connected. I was like...
Yeah, it's a special sock.
All right, so I also have a pair of socks.
Hooray!
So can I talk about mine?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, this is a bag that Cody gave me. I think Cody made it.
Oh! Is this
from the Cody Knits podcast.
This is also a Cody Knits bag.
I use Cody Knits bags a lot. And this is one that he gave me.
Right.
He didn't make it, but he gave it to me. So I... Through talking with Nancy at Trilogy Yarns, I discovered that she has a 3-month sock set subscription, still available on her website. At least it was about a week ago when I bought it, and it's Princess Bride themed. Very fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on there and I bought it, and I don't know exactly how she's releasing them or whatever, but I think I had bought it after she'd already released the first month.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it in the mail, and before I show my project, I'm actually going to insert, because I did our first unboxing where we video.
That's right.
You know, that's the thing people do sometimes on YouTube where they show the package it comes in and all that. So I'm going to insert that here. Okay, so we're doing our very first unboxing, or in this case, unbagging.
Debagging.
So, teabagging. All right, here we go. This is it's the first month. So I got it today from FedEx. Ready?
Yes.
Oh wow!
So
That's beautiful. Don't be too jerky, John. People are going to throw up. Prince Humperdinck. Those are going to be awesome.
is it sock yarn?
Yeah, it's a sock. It's a sock.
Oh, I guess. I don't know.
Membership or whatever. So it's a sock set, and I think it's got, what did she say? The full skein is 400 yards, 100 grams, and then the mini skein is 100 yards, 25 grams. And it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon.
That's
Prince Humperdinck a lot.
That's really cool.
Prince Humperdinck is the guy with 6 fingers, right?
No, that's the man with 6 fingers.
But he's also Prince Humperdinck, right?
No,
now, who's Prince Humperdinck?
Okay. So Prince Humperdinck is Christopher Sarandon, and the Man with Six Fingers is.
No, I mean, what role is Prince Humperdinck in the?
He's the prince she's going to marry, and the guy with the six fingers is like a sidekick.
Oh, that's right. I got mixed up.
Yeah.
I was conflating them or whatever as the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's right. There's a pattern. She did a...
Oh, cool.
What's it called? Collaboration with Tracy Miller, who is the Grocery Girls.
Cool.
The blonde sister on the Grocery Girls. So
nice.
This is a sock
cool.
pattern. Yeah.
What else did you get?
I got chocolates, and I got tea. So you'll drink the tea, and I'll eat the chocolates. And candy.
Wrong.
Yay! So exciting. Perfect. All right. Thank you,
cool.
Nancy. Okay. And through the magic of television, you just got to watch the unboxing. Okay. So this is the Trilogy Yarns sock set. And there's 2 skeins. There's a full skein and then a mini skein, which is 100 yards, 25 grams. And it's Prince Humperdinck is the colorway for this. And so it's got a awesome main color and then a contrasting heels and toes mini. So these are the 2 colors.
They're so cool.
Yeah, I just love it. And so I decided, since John's knitting me socks, I'm going to knit him socks. So this is how far I've gotten. So I've gotten the leg. I didn't do a super long leg, but I probably maybe should have done a little bit longer.
No, I've got big feet, so you don't want to hurt yourself.
Right. Yeah, and I find that you don't really need legs that are super long, on a sock, because then it starts to get tight around your calf and stuff. So anyway, I'm on to the heel flap. I'm using the Rose City Rollers pattern, but all I did was knit a leg instead of knitting the roll, and then I do a 2x2 rib at the top. So this is obviously in the contrasting color, and then this is the heel flap. And it's really interesting because it's the way that it's pooling. There's like a green and brown kind of pooling area, and then a purple and white pooling area, and it's kind of slowly spiraling around.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the magic
I just think it's funny because I would never think to, I mean, obviously I don't dye, but like to think that like this green and this purple would like look really good together.
Right. So yeah, so I'm having fun with the sock. Socks are my favorite thing to knit. So then, unfortunately, John has the biggest feet on the planet, so it's gonna take me like 9 years to knit the foot.
But what else are you doing?
Right, and I love knitting socks. So that's my new cast on.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
So I've got 2 projects where I'm knitting. I get to knit stockinette, fingering weight stockinette, which is like my favorite thing to do ever, because I just sit and watch TV and just not even look at it and love it.
I mean, I think knitting fingering weight stockinette is like my least favorite thing in the world to do. I mean, for this it's fine, but yeah, it's so slow. So
it is slow.
It is slow. Like you feel like we were watching a movie last night, and I was like, "Oh, let's see how far I get in the movie," and like I knit a gram of yarn.
Was this the
Eurovision?
Oh, the Eurovision movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen the movie Eurovision song, The Story of Fire Saga,
yeah, you probably should. It's very silly.
It's very silly. It's a Will Ferrell movie, and it's about Eurovision. It's got real pop stars in it.
But no Angela Lansbury.
I'm not going to talk.
Yeah.
I could go on all day about it.
It was fun. All right, so here is my new cast on. So this is... It's a little bit of a yarn disaster, but whatever. So this is... I cast this on a while ago. I mean, this week. So this is not... This is a baby sweater for our across the street neighbors. It is called Leelanau.
Okay.
Leelanau by Melynda Bernardi from French. Bernardi, sorry, from French Press Knits. So yeah, it is a worsted weight baby sweater, and I'm using.
I forgot how soft this yarn is.
Feels like butter yarn, red Lion Brand. It's this sort of blue, teal, and this red. And it is a colorwork pattern, so it's basically every third row or so you do this colorwork.
That little blip.
So super fun. I feel like I could knit acrylic baby sweaters for the rest of my life and never be unhappy.
I know it's polyester, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. It is knitting up beautifully. The color work is super fun. So when I swatched, for the color work rows, I'm going up a needle size. So that's kind of fun. So I use my little ChowGoo interchangeables.
Okay.
And every fourth row I switch to a larger size. And it's actually funny because I actually have to knit it pretty loosely. I don't know if you can see this, but like there's a little variation in the size of the blips. And if I knit it tightly, they just get really like at the bottom.
They kind of disappear.
They sort of disappear and become look more like texture than color. But I mean, it's okay.
But you can see them.
You can see them,
you can
for
tell
sure.
it's a pattern.
Yeah, for sure. So this is fun. So I go like, I think I've got maybe 2 and 3 inches of this. What would you say this is? I can't remember.
I'm not good at it.
So I got like 6.5 inches, and then I get to start the sleeves.
Gotcha.
So super fun. I'm doing 2 because our neighbors have twins, Dylan and James. They're super cute.
They're super cute.
And so what I did is this sweater is going to be red with the teal bump, so to speak, and the other one is going to be teal with the red bumps. So because they're twins, everything has to be matchy-matchy. So,
which you should explain. You're just teasing. You don't really believe that.
No, I do not. But it's kind of fun.
John has. We have
my
nephews
nephews
that
are
are twins,
and
we know how much that irritates them.
Yeah, no, they don't. But anyway, it's fun. So I'm hoping this will be a good. We're going to Colorado next week, and so we're driving, and so I'm assuming that'll be a good time to get a lot of work done on this one.
Yes.
So.
Uh-oh. Is that a cat?
No.
Oh, okay.
That is just no. They don't eat polyester. They only eat wool.
Right.
So yeah, that one is good, and so hopefully I will have both of them done well before it gets cool. Unlike my Argyle socks, which might be a Christmas present for you. No, those are actually the Argyle socks are fun because I've actually. As I've gotten better at the Intarsia and managing the bobbins and stuff like that, it's become a lot easier.
We haven't screamed obscenities
only when
knitting those in a long time.
I know, which is always a good sign.
Yeah.
It becomes relaxing as opposed to stress-inducing. Speaking of stress-inducing, we have a VA update. So, Betty Ann, Scott's mom, she is a delightfully wonderful woman, and we love her very much. That being said, she's slightly problematic.
I'm in agreement with this so far.
So you may have heard earlier BA stories about her tube top skateboarding, wearing a tube top and skateboarding, her Zoom meeting shenanigans.
Well, let's not forget the sparkly tube top that people thought was a police car.
Yeah.
Her red and blue tube top that people thought was a police car.
Right. And now, we discovered through her dirty knitting patterns that she has aliases. Yes. So we like to be ahead of these things. We like to, we don't want to turn on the evening news and see what's going on with BA.
No.
So what we've done is like a lot of people is you have like a news tracker, right? Mm-hmm. And so through the magic
those apps.
Yeah. So through the magic of the internet, we've put in like every conceivable way that she could show up.
Like
right?
Google News or whatever.
Alerts like that.
Google Alerts or
Right.
News Alerts. Or whatever.
And we've cast a really broad net because she changes identities. But there's always
there's only one Betty Ann. I mean, there's not like there's other people named Betty Ann.
So anyway, we just have a tracker, and now that she knows about it, she's probably gonna start evading it.
Well, and you'd love to have an ankle monitor on her.
She would chew her foot off.
She'd chew her foot off.
So anyway, no, we'll probably get her chipped at some point.
Well, yeah, we need to. I think she watches this podcast. Is the problem? So we have to not.
We can't give our plans away.
No.
So anyway, this is July 4th weekend, and
Here, Mom, drink this.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
so
we have a news tracker.
We have a news tracker, and so we just get alerts when something
crazy Southern hillbilly.
Yeah, like pops up. So, and we have like degrees, right? We have
moonshine.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the I don't remember if you remember back the Homeland Security alerts, like green,
orange,
red.
Yeah.
And we have a different sort of tone associated with each one depending on the severity of the thing. So anyway, we had a nice little July 4th. We had barbecue with our friends, sort of hung out with our neighbors, and we had sort of gone to sleep. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, our phones explode. Like...
Off the chart.
Off the charts, like...
Scared
it's
the
like
dog.
it's like severe thunderstorm, like a hurricane is coming.
Plus an Amber alert. Plus an Amber
alert.
Yeah.
Plus DEFCON.
Yeah.
So we look down and we get this alert, and it's from Wausau, Florida.
Wausau, Florida. Okay.
Yeah. So which is about 120 miles south of where Betty Ann lives.
Right.
In Georgia.
Okay.
So
yes, I
it's
remember this now.
right. Just
all a blur.
Just above Panama City. So we're like, probably not.
Oh yeah, because I think I remember driving through Wausau, Florida when we'd go to Panama City Beach.
Yeah. So I mean, it was one of those things that we cast a wide net, and so we get a lot of stuff. Only about half of them are her. So we look, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're like, Wausau, Florida. Okay, it probably isn't. Right. So we sort of go back to bed, and then I sort of looked over, and I'm like, well, let me just click on it and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And so Wausau, Florida, if you don't know, is like the possum capital of the world.
And we know she loves a possum.
We love a possum, and they have a possum monument.
And to be fair, she doesn't eat the possums.
No, she just thinks
she wants to have a bunch of pet possums.
Right. She loves possums.
She literally watches YouTube videos about pet possums.
I know. And we've told her, we've told her before that if she moves up here, she cannot have possums in the house.
No, I know. We've come to terms with the fact that we're gonna have to put on a mother-in-law suite onto the house.
Right. I was thinking more of a bunker, underground.
Betty Ann, are you ready to see your mother-in-law suite? Ka-chunk!
So anyway, so we're like, oh well, maybe she went down there to visit. And so the possum. So we go there, and so I open the news alert, and it's a disorderly contact news alert, and there's this blurry picture of this crazy lady. Can't see her face, but I can see the sparkly red, white, and blue tube top.
She must have bought a new one, because the last one she had, I took away from her.
No, this one was sequins. It had like an American flag, and you couldn't see it. She's holding two sparklers and going like this.
In the picture?
In the picture. I mean, assuming she was moving them around.
Yeah.
So
it was blurry.
Anyway,
but wasn't it from like one of those trail cams that like it takes? It's
the picture. one of the park cams, right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah.
It wasn't like someone took a picture.
So
it was an alert that got tagged.
Right. She's gallivanting about.
Right. In Wausau, Florida.
And the motion sensor caught her.
Yeah.
And it's all.
Right. So it's not a clear picture. So we have to rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Because, why is Betty Ann in Wausau, Florida?
Right.
And so we have to go back to the time when Betty Ann was on the beauty pageant circuit in South Georgia.
Yep.
So you may not know this, but you would not be surprised. But back in the day, Betty Ann was quite the pageant queen.
If she wouldn't kill me, I would insert pictures from Miss Doherty County High School pageant.
Right.
That she was in. That was her first one, was the Miss Doherty
Right.
County High School pageant.
But here's the deal. So...
And her stint at the Borough Fashion College, where she was a model.
Yeah. But you know Betty Ann. Mm-hmm. She's a little competitive.
Yeah.
She wanted to win. And so what happened is she would enter these pageants, and they could never prove anything, but all the other contestants would have nervous breakdowns, and she would win. And so what we think was going on, and what was surmised, is she was playing like psychological warfare with people. And
she does it with me. She does it with
I know.
you. She does it with my brother.
Right. So this is where she got her practice.
Okay.
So it got to the point where she was banned from the South Georgia pageant circuit. And they actually wiped her name from the records. It was so bad. Lifetime ban. And that's why you can't see any pictures. Not because they don't exist.
Right.
But because it's been expunged. It was so painful for those
You can see the Doherty County High School one.
Yeah.
And then it's like she was never in another pageant.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we know is not true.
Not true. And if you look really closely at the pictures, you kind of see sort of scratch. I mean, they airbrushed her out and stuff like that.
Right.
But she was there. Somewhere, I think probably buried beneath one of the houses, there's a cache of trophies that she won by emotionally abusing people. So anyway.
It just explains so much.
So anyway, so she was banned.
Right.
Never ever allowed back in to the South Georgia beauty pageant circuit. However, Wausau, Florida, 1969, started its annual Possum Festival. A salute to the possum. Mm-hmm. And every year, they have a Queen Possum competition where you can be crowned Possum Queen. Mm-hmm. And so Betty Ann saw this, saw it was a new competition, and saw it was in Florida.
Oh, right. And so it doesn't apply.
It doesn't apply.
Her lifetime ban
does not apply. So she entered herself into this competition. And she was going to go down, but then she got food poisoning. She ate a bad batch of boiled peanuts. And
you can't tell when they're good and they're bad because they're all green.
Well, and here's the deal. I mean, maybe it was an accident, but maybe there was revenge.
Oh. The other possum contestants.
No, one of the other debutantes who Betty Ann ruined their lives.
Ruined their lives, yeah.
But we're not saying. So anyway, she was real sick and could not make the possum pageant. She was only the first possum queen.
She made it through the bathing suit part because we know she likes a bathing suit.
Right. But she was not able to get through the whole pageant.
Right.
And basically that just, at that point she just like, not for me.
So she went out into the woods with the sparklers.
She walked away. No, this is 1969.
Oh, sorry, misunderstood.
So you got to remember,
misunderstood. Yeah,
we're still in the past. So
we're still in the past. Okay,
this is the first possum thing. So Betty Ann enters. She gets food poisoning in the middle of the pageant.
Got it.
And at that point, then the lifetime ban caught up with her, and it became a national ban.
Right.
So anyway,
well, in Canada.
Well, yeah, in Canada, obviously. So that's why we're glad she can't travel.
Right.
Anyway, so she's banned. So that was her last best chance to win a pageant.
Right.
So not winning Possum Queen has gnawed at her heart for years. Years. And so,
because she was in the Watermelon Queen. At the Watermelon Festival in Crisp County, Georgia. She was at the Pecan Festival.
She was Little Miss Sweet Onion.
Yeah, in Vidalia.
Yep.
She was in, I can't remember what the pageant is that's in Hayhira.
Right.
She was in the Little Miss Syrup pageant.
Oh, yeah?
In Cairo.
Of course, yeah. Anyway, so this was her last, that was the beginning of the end. So it is basically, if you ever mention, and that's why she is obsessed with possums. Mm-hmm.
So how are you bringing us back to current time and her being in the woods?
So what happened was, apparently, this last 4th of July, Saturday night, mind you.
Yeah.
So she was out having her red, white, and blue shots. Shot. And apparently she got to a place where she was reliving that trauma from the pageant. She called herself an Uber.
That's why she was asking me for money.
Right. So she got an Uber 120 miles from Albany, Georgia to Wausau, Florida. And that she was like, I'm the Queen Possum.
Oh.
Yeah. So luckily when we called down there, the woman who was doing the citizen arrest actually watches this podcast.
Oh, and she knew who she was.
And when we called, she's like, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is okay. Like much of what happens to Betty Ann, the record has been wiped.
Well, and luckily, and so it's like there's no record of it anywhere.
No.
We're not making this up.
No.
Just because there's no evidence of it.
Just because we're good at our job, which is keeping her out of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, no. She gets into trouble.
We always have to clean up the mess.
Yeah, we clean up real well.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just lucky that the citizen arrest woman watches our podcast. Mm-hmm. Long time watcher, long time viewer. Thank you. We're not going to mention you by name because that'd be embarrassing.
Right.
And we don't want to get you in trouble for, obstruction of justice.
Right.
So
that
was our 4th of July.
That was our
5th of July, actually.
Yeah, it was a disaster. But what's worried me about this is that, they rebooted Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes, they did.
On Netflix. And those people have been calling me and asking for an interview, and I don't know what it's about.
No.
They didn't bring up possums. They didn't bring up beauty pageants, but I don't know why all those people from Unsolved Mysteries keep calling me and wanting me to sit down for an interview.
We are not doing that.
No.
We're not. I don't... what we know is the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
So, anyway, so that's our Betty Ann update.
Thank you for helping me. I mean, this is one of the good things about this podcast is it really helps me kind of process the trauma.
Well, I mean, she just, she's all id.
Right.
Especially when she's done her red, white, and blue shots.
Yeah, and she didn't even know what that means.
If you looked it up, yeah, she would.
So.
Yeah, she just...
All right, well, let's talk about Angela Lansbury.
Insane.
So, we had time to give that Betty an update.
Yeah.
Because the Angela Lansbury movie for this week was a disaster.
It was a bit of a fiasco. First of all, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, which is our Angela Lansbury.
Oh, yes. Our shrine.
And just want to... so this is from two people who watch our podcast. So this is the message I get on Instagram. Deborah and Walter.
Okay.
So this is the message in text. Years ago, my husband wrote to Angela Lansbury and asked for her autograph. He received an autograph photo in return. He heard you and John discuss her on the podcast, and he's offering to send you the picture if you would like it. If you're not interested, we will not be offended. And I'm like,
what?
Oh yes, very interested.
Very interested.
So, thank you, Deborah and Walter, because it's just like...
It's amazing. It's in a frame.
What
I want to know is what was her husband's, what prompted him to write to her? I mean, I guess maybe he just
Yeah, some people like to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is now our baby. It's so yeah, thank you. That It's like the community of the podcast. You get your Entrelac pattern figured out. We also get Angela Lansbury pictures.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It is amazing. She's got her knitted sweater and her smart little watch and her reading glasses, and
so yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
So that arrived today. So that was very exciting.
Yes,
and which is a good thing because we started. So.
Okay, what was the name of it?
The Amorous Adventures of Moll Flanders.
Okay, so Moll Flanders is a book written by Daniel Defoe. What time period was this book written?
The 1700s? 1600s?
Okay, so it was an old book.
Yeah.
I had no...
I think early 1700s? Yeah, I mean... Sure. So yeah. And so this is kind of...
Full disclosure... What were we going to say? Sorry.
So, I think, back in 1963, Tom Jones came out, which was kind of this British sex historical romp. And so, it was really popular.
See, all this time, I thought you were talking about The Singer.
Oh, that would be confusing, wouldn't it? No, Tom Jones, the book, the movie.
I thought you were talking about that guy,
That it's not unusual to be loved by everyone.
That guy.
No. So
that's Tom Jones, too.
That is Tom Jones, too. Okay. It's very confusing. So, I
was like, he did this random collection of British sex comedies?
No.
Okay.
No, Tom Jones, the book by Henry Fielding, that they made into a movie that was very successful, and it was kind of like, very like ribald. And it's actually a very good movie. But, so I think Paramount, or whoever made this, decided they would capitalize in it and make their own Tom Jones.
Was the story of Tom Jones from like hundreds of years ago?
Yeah, it's from a...
Oh, it's all making so much more sense.
So it's like adapting these books and making ribald 18th century movies.
But in the 60s.
In the 60s. So they are set in the 1700s, but the hairstyles look like,
Yeah.
So anyway, this one starred Kim Novak and Angela Lansbury in a...
So who was the male lead? Anybody famous? I'm not even remembering.
I think it was the guy, George Saunders was in it. He was the guy from All About Eve, and he was in the Samson and Delilah. Kim Novak was the lead. So we'll be honest, we got 20 minutes into it, and we're like, this is not good.
I mean, it wasn't even... so bad it was entertaining.
It was just kind of like...
I mean, it was like... And I feel like one of the things, the timing was weird. The comedic timing. It was like there were these long pauses of dead air.
Right. It was... Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to talk about with this movie. Angela Lansbury was playing the role of Lady... Blystone.
Blystone, yeah.
And... Kim Novak was her maid, and she kept sleeping with different people. And...
Yeah, it was. We do the good college try, but it was like funny. We were watching it, and Scott turned to me. It's like, and I'm like, and I was
like, this movie is not good.
And it was not good.
And we were watching this on July 5th, and so I had stayed up all night dealing with the Betty Ann drama.
Oh, it's true.
That is so tired.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And there was at one point I was like, I'm going to finish this round of knitting, or there was something I was doing, and I was like, I'm going to finish this, and then if it's not gotten any better, we're stopping it.
Right. So, yeah, no, not good. And it's like, this is the first time we've given up on a movie.
We will watch movies...
I mean, not any movie. We give movies all the time, but on the Angela Lansbury series of movies. So all I have to say is like maybe we should have gone with Mrs. Claus.
You and Vanessa. I can't remember Vanessa's last name, but Vanessa is
Todd is also going to do
Todd and all you people that are trying to do Christmas in July.
Anyway.
Okay, should we do that for next week?
No.
I'm giving in. You're supposed to be like, yay.
No. Actually, I have 3 options.
Oh, okay.
And you get to choose.
You're only not going along with it because you have options.
I have options. I looked it up.
Okay.
I did 3 things. These are all 60s movies.
Okay.
Late 50s, early 60s. So one's called Please Murder Me.
How can that be bad?
And it is a film noir Poverty Row, which is like a really like cheaply made movie. I think it's a term for a couple of the smaller studios, and they would just like churn out these movies.
Okay.
So where Angela Lansbury plays this woman who is accused of murder, and hilarity ensues. So it's a noir. The other o's called The Reluctant Debutante, which is kind of a comedy of manners. It's about this high-toned British couple who bring their daughter. So Rex Harrison's in it. His daughter, who's played by Sandra Dee, like comes over and she's like, wild American. And they're trying to marry her off to this eligible bachelor. And Angela Lansbury is another scheming society woman who's trying to get her daughter married to the same eligible bachelor.
Ah, okay.
It was remade in the 2000s with Amanda Bynes.
Oh, God.
But it was called What She Wants or something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, with Colin Firth. So that's option number 2. And then the final one is called Dear Heart, which is more of a sort of dramedy type thing. And it's about these two... So Angela Lansbury is the third lead. It's about these two people in their sort of middle age who are settling down, and they meet at a postal convention and fall in love.
What's a postal convention?
Convention for post office workers.
Oh, it's literally a postal convention. I thought maybe that term was a cognate that meant something else.
No. So,
or not a cognate, but you know what I mean.
So we have
homonym.
kind of like, romantic dramedy with the Dear Heart thing. We have funny society spoofing.
I want to see the Please Murder Me one. That one got my. I mean, we're gonna watch all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Please Murder Me got my attention the most.
Sounds good.
So yeah.
Please Murder Me.
Okay, before I forget, so when you were growing up in the South, was Dear Heart something that people would say, "Oh, dear, not like, oh, bless his heart." It was like that was a term of endearment that people would like, Dear Heart.
No.
Yeah, just when you said Dear Heart, it makes me
think of a deer you just killed in your heart.
No, it was Dear Heart was
Dear Heart.
Dear Heart. It was a term of endearment that people used a lot in Georgia.
All right.
Well, the point is to watch weird movies that we would never watch,
right,
and give up in the middle if they're as bad as.
Yeah, man, that was not good.
No,
not good.
Cool. And what I was going to say about that other one, what was the one we stopped in the middle?
The Amorous Adventures of Moll Flanders.
Moll Flanders, yeah. We seek out bad movies to watch and make fun of.
I mean, there is a fun of watching
that MST3K
or like silly
phenomenon.
Movies that don't take themselves. Like The Three Musketeers was a fun, silly movie.
Yeah.
But this is just like, bleh.
Yeah. So anyway, Please Murder Me.
Please Murder Me.
Awesome.
Or the story of what we feel like when we get the alert on our phones.
Yes, that's true.
Please murder me.
All right, so we'll be for the next week, and the next week will be. I'm going to get back and fix my Entrelac hat now that.
Yep.
Randy.
Rusty
figured that out for me, and then next episode we're going to try to film it
in Colorado.
The problem we might have is that I won't have my editing software, so we'll have to figure that out. Although I might be able to download some free editing software and figure it out that way.
Sure.
So we will, full disclosure, we might not be able to upload our next episode in our normal time, but we're going to try because we're going to be in Denver.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully there's a couple people still at this point.
God, it went on for a bit at the end there, but
okay.
Betty Ann is a complicated woman.
That's true.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.